G'day guys, what's going on? On today's episode we're going to make a start on the custom fuel tank for the wagon. I'm at my mate Chris's house and we're just about to head inside, have a look at the laptop. Going to do a quick little design and then we're going to get straight into fabricating. Okay, so we've finished on the laptop now. Chris has done all his Fusion 360 designing for the cutting of the sheet. So before I show you the machine that we're using to cut that, I thought I'd just show you the components we're using on this one. So it's all basic stuff here. I've got the sender, it's from Cal Custom. So it's just your SAE 5-bolt hole jigger. That one is 7 inches. This tank's going to be 8 inches or 200 mil. So with these senders, you want about 1 inch on the bottom for whatever reason. We just went with something that's tried and tested. I've used these before, the Torq's twin pump hanger. These are pretty well priced and will fit the bill just nicely. For the pump, Walbro 460, that's tons and tons of pump for what we're doing with this. So really simple stuff. Obviously we're in Chris's shed now, so I'll swing the camera around and show you the magic of how we're going to get this tank cut really nice and really easy. Righto mate, you're going to have to tell us what this thing is.
So this is one of ART's XR routers.
Nice.
Runs a standard router tool bit to cut aluminium at reasonably high speeds. This will cut this at 4 meters a minute. Produces a perfectly clean edge, ideal for welding and fabrication.
Beautiful. So this is Chris. I probably should have introduced you Chris properly, but yes, this is going to make light work of cutting out this tank. It's a pretty nifty bit of gear. It's not something you normally see in someone's back shed, but Chris loves buying heaps of tooling and equipment so he can do everything himself, and he's a pretty clever guy.
Now we'll select the drill holes to hold it down to make sure it doesn't move before we start cutting. Select those, cut job, select the tool to make sure it only does that job, and
Now this tank could have quite easily been done by hand. I've done them before by hand with just using, like a rip saw and, grinders and jigsaws and whatever, all that kind of stuff. But with this here and with the design we're doing, we're going to use Chris's pan brake to press it anyway, so we might as well utilise this awesome bit of equipment here, make our life a bit easier, and plus we can show you guys, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Fuck, it cuts quick. I can't get over how quick that sort of just goes, eh? that's our tank parts all cut. Now it's time to mark the sheet up. We're going to mark it up by hand. You can use that machine to do all your press lines as well. The pen line can get a little bit thick, and because we want a really nice outside corner when all the sides are folded up, you're better off just marking it by hand. So Chris is going to go and check his measurement real quick on the computer, mark these lines by hand, and then we will throw it in the hydraulic pan brake there and bend it up. This is a really strong way to build a tank. There's heaps of different ways you can do it, but this is going to be the bottom of the tank. That's probably pretty obvious. So these will get folded up all four corners, so all the weight bearing on this is all press lines. There's no welds there that can potentially fail or whatever. So that's a good way to do it. And then we've got the top here, hangers in. We got some slots to plug weld up our baffles, fuel level sender, all pretty basic stuff. And I'm really impressed with how quick that machine does this job. It was on there for 5 minutes or something like that, and even then Chris had to make a few small adjustments for the depth and stuff like that. Really cool piece of equipment. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. Chris primarily uses this to cut boat like foam flooring, that real fancy foam flooring stuff with the designs and stuff in it. He's got all the gear to measure it all out accurately and then get it cut in here. He also cuts boats. He does all sorts of stuff. His business is called CCW Engineering, so if you need anything that you think this CNC router could cut for you or whatever, hit him up on all the socials or whatnot, or if you think there's a cool part that you might use on your car or whatever, hit us up. We might be able to get him to make them for you and us and everyone else. Alright, so as you can see, that's not square yet. These have been bent to 65 degrees in order to be able to do the box in the sequence that we want to. So, in case you're wondering, it's all part of the plan. We're just going to use Chris's banged angle MIG, aluminium MIG welder, and we can just tack these baffles in, get some stitches on. That way I don't have to muck around with it at home. It'll be nice and quick and easy. Everything's turned out really good so far. Alright, so we've just thrown some clamps on this thing. We're not going to weld everything here out at Chris's today. Just going to do a few of the easy bits. And this is quite the flash machine, so Chris tells me. One of the only ones in the country, is that right, Chris? One of two in the country. Chris likes his toys. It's actually different having someone else weld something on here for once, mate. I'm gonna have a go after you, mate. I want to feel what this fucking $1 million machine feels like. We're all wrapped up here at Chris's now. he's basically fabricated this thing for me. He's done most of the hard work actually. We've used his gear and used his wicked MIG to just make real short work of welding those baffles in. Most of the hard work's done, so let's get it home. So it's about 9 o'clock at night now. I thought I'd just come out in the shed, put the tank in the shed and pack my stuff away, and what do you know, I've welded most of the base of this tank out. I thought, damn, I better touch base with you guys. I've got one outside corner left to do. I've done all the other outside corners and the flanges and stuff. Obviously these will need to get sanded down for when the lid goes on, but anyway, I did get a little carried away and I probably should have set up a camera, but yous have all seen me do a friggin' basic outside corner weld before, so I'll do this one last weld and call it for the night, but I'll be back with yous in just a second. It's time to test fit this tank in the back of the car. This plate obviously sitting on there loose for now. That's the configuration it's going to sit in. Let's lower the car down and we'll have a look. This is roughly the height it's going to be at. It might be a tiny bit higher. As you can see, we've got ample room around the turbo system here. I'm going to be picking up off these back rails here. Usually, obviously, a standard tank has straps and stuff, but what I've got here is a pressing. It's got a 15-degree press in it, so this will go, I need to shorten it up still, but this is going to go get welded on the side of the tank. Drill a series of holes along here. I'm obviously going to have to fix some of this butchery that's up in here, and that'll fix this side across here. The plan for the other side is a little bit different. I'm going to make a bit of a steel frame to pick up off the other side that's going to go around the muffler. Pick up on this this rear rail here. That's the idea at the moment. Let's get into it. I got to catch you guys up. Say hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Jeff's doing what he does.
Just doing what I do.
Bringing all y'all the videos.
Trying.
I'm getting a bit carried away here, so I thought I'd just catch you up to where I'm at. Just welded the filler neck on for the tank, and I'm not sure if I've shown you yet or not, but this is my bracket idea. So these are going to go on like that. We've obviously got, it's doubled up, so this is 8mm thick here. Do these on both both corners, and yeah, that'll allow me to make the steel frame to go up and over the muffler once I get the tank back up in there. So I'll put the lid on this thing. That's the next thing to do. I'll get the lid on. Actually, you would have seen in the clip, this is the top of the tank. I've gone for the sleek look with welding it underneath. So now you can see there's a little bit of distortion in this thing. I'll throw it up. Like anything, when you weld it, it will shrink and distort. Pretty easy though. This will flatten out because I can put clamps on the outside. It'll flatten out nice and it won't be a drama at all. But yeah, something to keep in mind when you're fabricating. When you put heat in, it's definitely going to shrink and distort things. So if you can't get clamps on things, it can be a pain when you're TIG welding. If the sheet metal starts working away and you get a gap, it can be a pain in the arse. Holes are drilled. It's time to get these nutserts in. Ugh. Now, because these are working on more of a shear, they should be plenty strong enough. These ones are M6, and that's as big as you could go anyway with this tool. I got titanium all through my wrist, so I've got weak wrists as it is. That was pretty tight to get in, so but that should be strong enough. I'll have a feel when it's done, and if it needs any more, we've got plenty of room to put some more in there. But I think five M6s on a shear like that should be plenty strong enough. So I'll get these other 4 in there, and she'll be a bloody beautiful thing. First test fit. One thing I do need to do is, that's why I've got this here, is get a measurement off here for the O-ring boss 90-degree fittings. So I'm pretty sure I needed about 45 mil. I've got about 50 there at the moment. We've got about 30 mil hanging below this rear, what would you call it, this rear bloody apron. So once this tank gets, we're probably going to powder coat it black. I think it'll stealth out pretty nice. I don't think you'll be able to tell it's got a custom tank in it. So 71 litre tank, so should get plenty of range on 98 anyway. I've got to rip this muffler or this exhaust section off and start working on the bracketry for this side. I'll make a frame that goes in here, bolts in between here, and then it will be some gusseting down here and probably some gusseting off the top here as well to really sort of lock this whole area in, just to really take all that flex out. I might put some nutserts from underneath as well, really just to pin that, lock that angle in, because there's going to be, you know, a fair bit of weight pulling directly down on that one. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, but other than that, looking really good. Alright, so now that I've ripped the tank out of the back of this thing, I've pulled the bracket for the passenger side on the bench. Time to beef it up a little bit before the tank goes back in there for good. Just going to put some, do a little bit of gusseting in the side there to give that a bit of strength through there, and also I'll put some smaller ones on there as well. Sort of really overkilling it at this point, but yeah, put these 2 gussets in there and then she's good to go back in the car. Might hit it with a bit of black later on when we strip it all down, but for now I just want to get the tank back in there. Let's glue this thing up for good. One filler neck modified. Righto guys, so I've just dropped it on the ground for the very first look at with the tank all in and installed. Now I've put the hatch on the top there just for the full sleeper effect, so let's take a quick walk around the car, see how it looks as it sits. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, man. Let's check it out. With the hatch on, obviously you can't see what's going on. I'm standing about 2 meters away from the car and I can't see the tank at all, and once there's a bumper on there you're not going to see much at all. So we will be powder coating this. It's going to be all black. Really shouldn't stand out too much at all. There you can see that's the lowest point, the drain fitting. As much as Caden wants to drive it, he's got 2 young kids, a fresh baby that's just come along in the last few days. Chances are the car probably will sit sometimes, as you guys that have kids will know. I know you can just rip a fitting off and turn the pump on. An even easier thing in my opinion is put a jack on the front, on the driver's side front end of the car. 98% of the fuel, 99% of the fuel, whatever, you'll get that out and you won't have any dramas if you do want to get the old fuel out. So that's why I've done that. Let me know what you think in the comments of how I've done it. I could have done it another 5 different ways, but this is the way my brain was working on the day, and this is sort of what I come up with. So I think it's going to work great. Fits great, looks great, will work. That's a wrap. I've been on your screens for long enough for one day, I reckon. So this job is done for now. I'm about to move on to the oiling system. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that lame shit. We do appreciate it and it really does help. If you want to support us even more, head over to the merch store, torqhub.com.au, get a shirt or a hat or something like that if you feel that way inclined. If not, that's cool too. I'm going to close this one out. See you guys. Cheers.